The quantitative evidence questions are quite common on SAT. In every English module, you will see at least one or sometimes two questions that ask about this. These questions primarily want you to understand the argument very carefully and then find an evidence from the graph or the table that supports the argument. Remember, the most important thing here is to understand the argument. If you're not clear with the argument, you won't be able to identify right evidence from the graph. So make sure you understand the argument and then find evidence from the graph or the table. Let's try to understand quantitative evidence question using an example from one of the college board. The question says which choice most effectively uses data from the table to complete the example. So here we have a table. So what does table give you? Table has credited film output of James Young Deere, Dark Cloud, Edwin Kerry, and Lillian. And the labels of the table have individuals, these four individuals, the years they were active in, and number of films known and commonly credited. Let's move on to the paragraph. Paragraph says some researchers studying indigenous actors and filmmakers in the United States have turned their attention to the early days of cinema, particularly in the 1910s and 1920s, when people like James Young Deere, Dark Cloud, Edwin Cavey, and Lillian, uh, known professionally as Red Wing, were involved in one way or another with numerous films. So the first sentence of the paragraph tells that these four people discussed were involved in numerous films. Okay, so we can highlight that. So involved in numerous films, these people. In fact, so many films and associated records for this era have been lost that counts of those four figures output should be taken as the bare minimum. So this is very important sentence. This sentence tells you, so whatever counts we have here, that those should be considered bare minimum because so many records were lost. So, right. So it's entirely possible, for example, that. So we need to provide an evidence to support this statement that these people were involved in more films than what we have in the table. So we need to find out something that suggests that. Let's look at the answer choices one by one. Option A says Dark Cloud acted in significantly fewer films than did Sincere, who is credited with 66 performances. So we are not comparing these people. So option A is out. Option B says Edwin Cavy's 47 credited acting roles includes only films made after 1934. This is also not telling that they were involved in more than what numbers we have here. So option B is also out. Option C says Lillian acted in far more than 66 films and Edwin directed more than 58. So far more than 66 and more than 58. So this option is closer to the statement that they were involved in numerous films than what we have here. So option C we can hold on to. Let's look at option D. James Young Deere actually directed 33 films and acted in only 10. So this is wrong data according to the table itself. So we can eliminate this one. As we have crossed out options A, B, and D, the right answer has to be option C. So what we need to take care of here, guys, is that make sure you understand what exactly the argument is talking about. If you're clear with the argument, you will not have any difficulty getting your evidence from the table or the graph. Okay, so once you have clarity about the argument, then it should be very easy for you.